Good evening. At the White House today, the President of the United States, through his spokesman, called Michael Jackson a music icon, a spectacular performer who had a sad and tragic side. His loss is being mourned at the White House from coast to coast in this country and around the planet. And in Los Angeles, some very tough questions are now being asked about how Jackson died, who was present, and who might have been responsible. To begin our extensive coverage of the death and the investigation, we begin tonight on the West Coast. NBC's Lee Cowan in L.A. tonight, where we've just learned more this evening. Lee, good evening.
Well, you're right, Brian. Late word from the L.A. County Coroner's Office that they are deferring any cause of death on Michael Jackson. They're still talking about cardiac arrest, but what they're trying to figure out is what would lead up to that cardiac arrest. If he was taking any medications, that would be a big part of this investigation, and they think there is one person in particular who knows a lot about that. Michael Jackson wasn't alone after his heart stopped beating Thursday afternoon. Someone in that home called 911.
Yes, sir. I need an ambulance as soon as possible, sir.
The caller didn't identify the victim as Michael Jackson, but described a dire situation going on in the background.
We have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing yet. He's pumping his chest, but he's not responding to anything, sir. Please.
It took only 3 minutes for paramedics to arrive. But according to Michael Jackson's brother, there was already a doctor there.
His personal physician, who was with him at the time, attempted to resuscitate my brother.
Police say they want to talk to this Houston physician, Dr. Conrad Murray. A BMW investigators believe was his, was impounded outside Jackson's rental home, and police question him briefly, but want more. It all left Jackson's fans, both old and young, struggling for answers in a death so sudden. There was dancing in some places, tears in others.
I hate that his soul is gone. It's so hard right now to even really deal with it because I feel like I lost someone that was dear to me in my heart, like my family member.
The scene yesterday, played over and over again, was surreal. Jackson's body was airlifted from UCLA's medical center and then, wrapped in a simple white sheet, was loaded into a van and driven to the L.A. County Coroner's Office. Jackson's autopsy took only a few hours, while family and friends, including Jackson's father, Joe, and at least one of his young children, waited at the Jackson home in nearby Encino, California. But officials warn it could be 6 to 8 weeks before toxicology results are in, and many fear drugs may have played a role.
We know he was taking some prescription medications.
Police say prescription medications were found in the home, and those close to Jackson say he seemed to be struggling with his health.
And it just looked to me like he just wasn't eating. It was like somebody who was just not happy and just not eating.
He had been undergoing a vigorous training routine for what he called his comeback tour. 50 sold-out concerts planned in London next month. Too much, perhaps, for a man in his condition.
Right now, it looks like there's a perfect storm of eating disorder, probably anorexia, narcotic abuse, and sheer exhaustion. And when that happens, it takes a phenomenal toll on the lungs, on the circulatory system, and absolutely can be a cause of death. Heart attack, most likely.
A star who seemed indestructible at his peak may well have brought his untimely end on himself. Still no word, Brian, on any funeral arrangements or a memorial for Michael Jackson. He's lived the last several years of his life almost as a recluse, but it'd be pretty hard to deny all these fans out here at least some way to publicly say goodbye. Brian?
Lee Cowan starting us off in L.A. tonight. Lee, thanks.